What's up, boys and girls? We're back. Sorry, my throat. I've been had a cold or maybe a little pinch of corona. I don't know. But we're back, and now, today, we're gonna start our little template build. So I will show you guys around a little bit. You see that I have mounted the side support plastic, the headlight assembly, and the windscreen. This is just because I want to take a few more measurements, write them down, and then I'll roughly saw out a piece of masonite and drill the holes, plug it in, and then trace it around and see where I can cut off or and so on. So I will make it oversized at first, then slowly just remove material. So I have will be a big chunky mess here at first, but yeah, you will see. So if we just start looking at this, you can see what I meant with regarding my little rally tower or rally arm and the adjustments. So I could adjust this with a little bit higher angle, but then it starts hitting the windshield. So that's no good. And from my experience riding around, it's too close to the rider, so I have to look down a lot, or too much. I need to look down too much, and that's not comfortable when standing up riding on gravel roads and so and whatnot. You want to have a peripheral like view of the road, and yeah, this needs to get a bit more forward, maybe a tad bit like this, but we'll see. Let's show you guys the side fairing. So when looking at the side fairing, it's it hangs in place with this little hook here, and the attachment point is in the support plastics there over on the left side, and then on the tank you have the attachment for the top bolt here. So I'm not really worried about the top bolt or removing the support plastics. I will have a support from the tower that goes out to this bolt anyways, and I will most likely either put 5mm P300 plastic that I will bend in shape, so I have some kind of support behind here and something to put cable holders on, so I can hang or route the cables there without them hanging loosely underneath here. Or maybe I'll just do some kind of glass fiber or fiberglass reinforcement thingy going here from the old positions or the mounting points here. So there is, if you have money, you can always waste one of these, just cut it off here or somewhere, so you still have the side support for the side fairings. But I don't like that idea, or cutting that off at the moment anyways. We'll see in the future, who knows. Here we have that nice masonite, a big freaking board of it. So I will just chop one piece off, and then I'll remove after measuring the headlight assembly attached and everything. Then I will remove my tower arm, because I have the holes for the attachment points. I will just draw from that. Then I have a rough shape of the inner part of the rally tower, which is the closest one to the handlebars and everything there. So that way I don't need to work around that area too much. It's more the places below and forward that I would need to draw out and cut out. So let's start. So the good thing with masonite is if you have a sharp knife, you pull a few times, then you can just bend it and crack it, almost like plasterboard or whatever. So now I roughly measured out this is the bottom closest to the ground, and this is the top. So roughly about 50 centimeters. And yeah, maybe it's hard to say the total width of it, because I measured from a point that is further in front. I guess you could say that it's like 26 or 27 centimeters wide, and I will go with 30, and then we'll just or a little bit more, because I will actually remove this little corner here because it's damaged. So I'm gonna remove the tower from the bike, and then we can keep on going. So there we go. I have made a little template. It's super oversized, but that doesn't matter. I will just now saw this out, and then I will check the hole position, because I might need to change it a little bit before I drill the holes, so I can actually attach the piece to the bike as I do with this one. So one thing good to know, my arm here has no damage at all, and using countersunk holes or countersinking and then cone shaped head for the bolts, it's the best, because they were really solid. I had no Loctite or anything, but as it's you know, angled and countersunk and cone shaped bolt, you know, it really locks in place there with the friction, the big surface of friction with the bolt. So that's a good thing. So if you're building something, use countersunk bolts. I hate cleaning. Now I have, you know, sawdust everywhere, but it's out. Now we're just gonna check on the bike again with the holes and a bit measuring with a caliper, because I want to maximize, not maybe now, but when I cut this out of the plastic, I want to maximize the distance from the center or the edge of the hole in towards the headstem frame. Because even if I heard, and Thomas told me that, you know, he had done a lot of crashes with his tower and really rough terrain, everything had you know, been really solid. So my idea was to also use that little mounting bracket that you put on the frame in between the plastic and the frame, to use that and then sandwich the plastic around it, as I did on this one. You know, I have that black metal mounting thing in between, and he said, I don't think it's necessary. Mine have hold up really good, so I trust his word. So I'm gonna double check the, you know, the size and everything, so I can get as much chunk and meat from the inside of the hole towards the frame. So I double checked, and I can actually add some material here. So I know that from the center of the hole, or the mounting holes, that M8, it's 20 millimeters to the frame. So I can actually move the holes in a bit. So now my template, luckily I did it oversized, otherwise I would have had to make a new one. So now I can align up my little arm to that holes, top and bottom. Everything is straight. That seems to be okay. Do a few extra ones, and I know these are my bolts for my arm, so I need to use a 8 millimeter drill. Let's drill those holes. Maybe I should use my little punch. So there we go. Very nice. So now for the very first little test mounting. I know it will be too tight. Yep, everything is hitting here, so I need to address that. Maybe remove the old wood. That one is good. Yeah, shave some off here, then we could put it in place. Of course I didn't make a super straight cut, but who cares? First we need to get these bolts in. I can push it through. So there we go. So as I said, one important thing when you make this, I still need to cut it off a bit more, is that the ignition key or ignition lock or steering lock, you need to clear it underneath. I did that. I could actually have left some more material left here. I didn't need to cut off that much. I can make a note of that, so I add that. I will just write on this one. And you can see here, it's a bit tight. So it needs to, go in a bit more and then go up. So I'll do that. And this angle might change and also maybe have a steeper angle like this, or not steeper, less steep, because I need to be able to fit the speedo here as well. So that will come next when I got the rough shape off. Now this is way too long, right? So it's about 23 centimeters from here out to where the headlight assembly ends. So I will mark that now so I know where it is. So I made a little mark down here. This is 23 centimeters, so that's where the OEM headlight ends. And I know that I need to have a vertical line here. That's, 90 degrees or whatever you want to call it. And to do that, I will just hang my ruler. Pretty much at the edge up here, so I was spot on. And we will draw a line from here so we can cut that off as well, because we know that is the line we need to go off from, which will be the front. Even if I might tilt it inwards a bit, because I might not want to have a completely straight windshield here, so it might be backed out a little bit, but I will start with just drawing a line that goes straight up to this corner. You guys didn't see anything I was doing because the camera moved down, but as you can see here, the original placement of the carburetor arm that I did, we actually had this position. So here's the mounting bracket point or pivot point, so it was there. And then we will want to move it forward at least a couple of centimeters. Just checking everything is aligned and correct. Yeah, that looks about right. So from here, we'd want to, if I just draw a line here, we want to move it forward a bit, so maybe 3 centimeters, and then upwards 3 centimeters, so I get it a bit higher up. So this will be the new mounting pivot point, but then the tower itself needs to be a bit shorter, so I will most likely cut it off around here, right, anyways, and we will do that later on, because I will need to do a little test, just holding the mount at the position for the carburetor where I think it's gonna be nice, and try it on standing on the bike, looking down, and see how it looks, right? So that's the whole point of it. Want to have it in a comfortable position from both sitting down riding, so it doesn't cover your view too much, and also standing up, so you don't need to look down too far, so you lose control of the road. The windscreen I will make of this polycarbonate, which is really tough. It can take hits. You can bend it with the heat. I might need to buy a bigger of these, but they were pretty cheap. It's only 3 millimeters. You can get 4 millimeters as well. I just bought the cheapest one right now, so I can test it out and and so on, and I will make like a template for the windshield as well, because it will most likely be, I cannot use this way around, I need to use this one because it's going to be at least 50 centimeters tall, even taller, maybe 60, we will see. So this is 60, and yeah, this is way too tall, but yeah, anyways, we'll see when we get there. So there we go. This is the general shape of it all. I have adjusted some angles. I know that I can fit the speedo down here. I will have sufficient spacing so that the hand guards do not go in and touch it when I'm at full lock. There is a slight tilt inwards here on the front, just a slight one. What I'm gonna do next, I'm actually going to go in. I'm gonna bring my ruler and everything. I have done some very faint marks here because I need to sandwich two pieces of this P300 plastic together with a spacing of, what was it, 22 millimeter in between. So I will cut strips from that thick piece as well. So down here I will have two on each other, and I will have a drip hole as well here, so any water that gets in between can come out. Then I will have one that goes here as well, up here. So what I will do is measure the headlights, the full beam ones I have. So I will have one attached to this bottom here, and the other one will hang from a support here. Then I will have the low beam and so on up here, and the windscreen, of course, right? So and at this point, this little mark here will be the mounting position for the carburetor, and it will be a swivel mount as well, so you can pull it down so you have the screen like here, like this, and you can also twist it up, right? So you can stand up and see everything fully, right? So this is the first step in the template, and now I'll go in and draw the other stuff and bring you guys with me so you can see that part as well. And when all that is all good to go, I'll just wait for the version 1 tower from Thomas to arrive. So I will actually double check my little sketch here, or my little template towards his already made tower, and see, where he have put stuff, the angles he's using, and see if I'm gonna do any corrections to mine, right? So just so I have the best of both worlds. I'm sure this would work very well as well, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Well, here we go, guys. I have placed the different lights out, measured, the distance they need to be set, drawn out this inlays in between the sandwich, the cheese, so to say, and where I need to support it. It's a bit funky with the lighting. Maybe I should do it like this. And then the round thing here is the bar, a round bar that will actually go out and mount to the windshield as well. It will be something down there below as well. Maybe it will just be a mounting point on the front and something on the side as well, a bit further back, maybe here. We will have a bar as well. And then here on top, this is pretty much the new mounting point for the carburetor. It will be about 5 centimeters more forward and 3 centimeters higher up. This angle might change, so if I show you guys with the ruler here, I might cut away a little bit more like this. Instead, I will have a other kind of mounting bracket for the carburetor in plastic. But otherwise, so if the bike is straight, standing straight, this is the orientation. You can see that it's leaning a bit there, so whatever you want to call it. So the front is a bit tilted rearwards. So guys, that's about it. As I said, there's a lot of more work to do here. This is just a rough template. I will change a few angles, and I will now wait until I receive the tower from Thomas so I can compare my template with his already done tower. Of course, mine is made for electronic roadbook. He has it for a paper roadbook and electronic, so there will be some differences in between the two. And of course, even if I make one for electronic roadbook or a carburetor, I can always, you know, afterwards change it so I can actually fit a real roadbook holder on it. So, but I won't do that now. And the only thing I want to do now with Thomas' tower is to test mount it on the bike, put my carburetor holder on it, see how it feels, and then compare the height and width of his tower towards mine or my template, so I know which one is the best for me, best suited for me, or you know, any compromises in between both of them, or I'll add to mine or whatever, any features or whatnot, supports and all that stuff. So this is it for this one. So I'll see you in the next one. I'll have to wait until the tower arrives, maybe later this week. So stay safe, guys, take care, and I'll see you later. Cheerios, bye bye.